This may be one of the most interesting videos I've ever talked about on our daily channel, right here in the studio. Now, the London Underground, as you guys can obviously see with the tube map, right? A lot of people know this. London was the first city to ever implement an underground railway in the 1800s, all right? Now, there are some people that believe that removing a lot of trains from a lot of these tunnels permanently is a good idea. Hang on one second, but I think this is a great idea as well. Now, you didn't think I was going to say that, did you? Obviously not. If you guys know me, look, I love trains. I've got a train over there. I've got a tall boy Gareth train sign here. And I've even got a, what have we got? Santa Fe? No, Amtrak. We've got an Amtrak HO train set here. I've got about 25 to 30 HO trains. Yeah, I love trains a lot. And I also think that removing trains from certain parts of the London Underground is a great idea. Why on earth would I say this? Now, at the end of this video, I reckon, after I read this article, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be amazed about this potential new technology that could be brought to London, or to be frank, to any underground train network on Earth. Metro, subway, the tube kind of situation. Anywhere that has an underground train system could utilize this new technology. Without further ado, let's pat the cat and get straight to it. We're on channel 2 and of course channel 1. We just released this massive Squid Game video on channel 1 a little over a week ago. Go check it out if you want. But yeah, talking about the main event, okay? London Underground is absolutely packed when it comes to peak hours, just like any train system around the world would be, right? Obviously focusing just on London today. It is absolutely jam-packed. It is terrible. I've been there. I made heaps of videos in London and around England and the UK. I love the system. I absolutely love the system, but it can be packed and very hot. The heat in the tunnels is largely generated by the trains. Now, with a small amount coming from the station equipment and passengers as well. Now, when the tunnels were built back in the day, right, the clay temperature around the tunnel was about 14 degrees Celsius. This has now risen to 19 to 26 degrees Celsius, and air temperatures in the tunnel now reach as high as 30 degrees Celsius, which I might say is bloody hot. So that's one of the reasons. But you're going to be shocked when I show you this. What if we turn the tunnels into a Maglev escalator? Sorry, a Maglev Travelator. If you've not heard about this idea before, I hope it's the first time you've heard it from me, because it's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. So, as we've just said, right, the Metropolitan Railway was, first opened in 1863. And that's a sketch, that's a drawing of one of the first trains going through there, right? It's a very old system. And this, I believe, is Notting Hill. Okay, so this is Notting Hill. This is what Notting Hill could look like every single day, even during peak hours. Almost no overcrowding whatsoever. How would they achieve this? Well, look into this photo. Look what's actually happening here, right? You've got, ticket machines there, but in actual fact, the ticket machines would stay where they already are. That's just a mock-up to show you what's going on. But this is what we really want to talk about, right? We've got a 5, we've got a 10, and we've got a 15 here. And we've got people supposedly, walking on the railway tracks. Why are they doing this? Gosh, I really want to tell this story. This is so interesting. All right? They want to turn it into a Maglev Travelator. This is interesting. Take a look at this. Now, this type of situation would only be for underground train systems that have a bit of a circle line situation. We're talking about mainly a circle line situation, or a semicircle line that would go semicircle, I guess. You want to stay within the boundaries of the metropolitan area, right in the city. right in the hub of the city. So you've got people wanting to go from one part of the city to the next. This technology wouldn't be used for long, medium to long distance travel. That would be trains, obviously, trains, right? But in the heart of the city, in a semicircle or a circle line situation, we could possibly use this Maglev Travelators. Now, this is a bit of a diagram as to how this would work. I'm going to read an article to you guys in a second. And once again, this is such an interesting concept. So right here, you've got the station, okay? And we've got 3 sets of magnetically levitated travelators, or moving walkways, as you Americans call it, right? This one's going the slowest. Number 2 is going a bit faster, and of course number 3 is going faster again. This is interesting. Now this is what it could look like. I'm going to remove my face for a second, okay? We've got chairs that go around and around like that. Now if any of you guys have ever been on the Haunted Mansion ride in Disneyland or Disney World, it's a omni-mover chair that goes around in a loop, right? And it basically takes you all the way around, and the chair moves this way and that way kind of thing. It's really interesting technology, and this is, well, something kind of like it, all right? So these numbers represent, you've got 9, you've got 12, and you've got 15. That would be the kilometers per hour that this would travel. If you wanted to go from one station to the next very, very fast, you would go over here to the 15-kilometer situation, okay? And you'd sit on those chairs. But if you wanted, you could go on the slow aisle and have something to eat in the tunnel. Fascinating. Now, let me show you this. So, like I said, it would be mainly a city line underground railway situation, as we've said before. I've got a bunch of tabs open to remind me to talk about certain things, but we're going to go back to this picture in a second. This may not make any sense to you at the moment, but in a second it will blow your mind when you understand this. So I really want to talk about this today from this website, Wired. A real plan to replace London's tube with moving walkways. A highway of moving walkways could move people through the city as quickly as a train without the annoyance of waiting for one to show up. Oh, but guess what? It would be much faster than a train as well. This is really fascinating. So quick little conversation about this, and I've got some interesting things to show you in a second. If you guys haven't already, we're talking about things every single day in this studio on Channel 2. Come, give us a sub. Do your thing, all right? So at some point in the future, you find yourself walking through a London Underground tunnel rather than riding in a train. It may not be because something's gone terribly wrong. Instead, you may be moving effortlessly through the city on highway of moving sidewalks, getting about as quickly as you would on a train, but without the hassle of schedules, fares, and crowds. Well, there'd still be a fare, wouldn't there? You'd still pay for it, I'm guessing. You would, yeah. So this vision of the future comes from the London architecture firm, NBBJ, or as I like to call them, nice big blowjobs. Too much? Too much. Okay, never mind. So NBBJ, they came up with this funky skyscraper that doesn't actually cast a shadow. So this is a pretty interesting idea as well that's come up from the same firm. Oi, birds. I've got 3 birds in the corner making noise. Yeah, this design came from that same firm of a skyscraper that doesn't produce shadows, and it uses this kind of technology. Now, we could actually make a video all about this just by itself, but for now, just focusing on the revolutionary system that is a magnetically levitating walkway. All right, so the firm developed the concept for an ideas competition New London Architecture hosted to generate hypothetical but realistic proposals to make London a better place. As we've said, we've showed you this before. You've seen that. We're going to get deeper into this in a second because it's the deep tube. Get it? Never mind. Right. Well, the 17-mile Circle Line is a loop through central London with a reputation for being slow, delayed, and clogged with tourists. I was once one of them with my mum. It carries 114 million people each year, which is a lot, but can run no more than 8 trains at a time, each limited to 20 miles per hour. Now, NBBJ thinks that walking would be faster if you give people a little help. Now, I don't particularly want to walk, but the option would be there, right? You could sit down if you wanted. Now, at first, you get rid of the tracks, and that's a little sad, I know, and replace them with 3 adjacent moving sidewalks, which, by the way, Britons call travelators. We in Australia call them travelators as well, but Americans call them whatever else. I don't know, moving sidewalks, is that what they call them? Look, if an escalator is an escalator, then a travelator is a travelator. Get with the times, Americans. Get with the times, all right? So back to the travelators. So passengers enter through stations and pay fares the same way because some things never change. That should not change, right? They should be in the same area, the fare machines, okay? But instead of waiting for a train, they step off the platform onto an adjacent lane, which moves at 3 miles per hour, which is a typical walking speed situation. Now, for people that aren't too aware of what a travelator or an escalator looks like because you're in a country that doesn't have them for some reason, I mean, here are some great examples, right? Here's an escalator. Haha, who would have thought? Here's a travelator. You know, travelators are mostly seen in airports, okay? But you can see them in shopping centers as well. We'll go over here. This is a shopping center travelator which can actually go up, okay? But if you didn't know, they do make semicircle escalators. And I've ridden on a couple of them in Las Vegas. I think it was the, I can't remember the hotel name, but it was one of those hotels, and they had a nice big shopping center there. And yeah, really, really interesting setup they've got there. So basically, just like a highway situation when you're on the road, you know, things speed up as you move to the right. Remember, it's Britain where they drive on the other side. We drive on the left as well, America. Okay, so get with the times. The middle lane goes, 6 miles per hour, and the third zips along at a brisk 9, which is about 15 k's per hour roughly. Okay. Now, in the tunnels between stations, each lane could speed up. If you've not heard about this technology, I'm going to show you this right now and quite literally blow your mind. So Croup, it's a weird name. I had to research that one, but yeah, Croup has figured out how to make a variable speed walkway using magnetic levitation and overlapping plates like this, okay? It's quite loud and totally awesome, and the Toronto's Pearson Airport has been using a variation of the tech since 2007. I'm going to show you this right now. So at a max speed, a Londoner or tourist could be walking at 15 miles per hour. Without the need to stop at each station, NBBJ says that you could make the full circle in 55 minutes, which is 5 minutes faster than the train. This is awesome. Now, if you've not seen this video before, prepare to be shocked. I've actually sped up the video a little bit just so we can get to, the juicy parts. But this is a variable speed travelator, moving walkway. Look how this thing moves, right? Look at the handlebars, how they actually extend. The actual bars, the grips get longer and longer, and the steps that you walk on get longer and longer as well. This is amazing technology, and from 2017, it looks like it was the only one in the world that working. Maybe they've got these around somewhere else now, I don't know. But yes, do you see how the grips come out like that? The handlebar and the walkway, the grips, the things come out like that, right? We're going to fast forward and go to a different part. Or maybe about... Okay, take a look at this. Look at the floor. I would like to go to this airport just to ride on this. That would be an incredible video right there. Look at this. So the travelator is literally slowing down as you get off. And this technology could be utilized in between the stations. Wow. That is fascinating. Now, this photo, once again, where is this photo? So this photo represents the platform, okay? There's platform 1, and there's the next platform. You're going from station to station. Station 1, station 2. All right? Station 1, you get on the travelator at 3 kilometers per hour. Sorry, I think this is miles. 3 miles per hour. and then you can go to the 6 mile per hour one, or then you can go to the 9 mile per hour one as well, okay? But because this is a variable speed magnetically levitating travelator, you can go faster than what's already here on the platform. So we're just going to stay on number 3 for now. We're just going to follow the yellow. So number 3 goes to 6, 6 goes to 9, 9 back to 6, and then back to 3. So 3 miles per hour, then gets faster to 6, then 9 miles per hour, then it slows down. You know, basically, when you're in between the halfway mark of the 2 stations, you're going the fastest speed, 9 miles per hour, and then it slows back down to 3. But if you look at the orange or the red, I mean, they go in increments of 3 miles per hour faster as you go deeper into the tunnel. So if we focus on the red, on the express lane, the express travelator lane, basically, oh, where's this photo? So there, once again, you see them going different speeds, okay? There's another picture of the side angle, okay, what it could look like. And going back to that picture again, so you know, you could technically go 15 miles per hour or however fast the express lane is, right? Variable speeds get faster in increments of 3 depending on which lane you're on. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, or of course the slowest one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be interesting. So there's that picture again. We're going back to the article. So, you know, more important than speed though is eliminating the train's most annoying aspect, which is overcrowding. Pretty terrible in any system all around the world. Now with the walkways, you can fill the entire tunnel with people and not just lose space to spread out trains kind of thing, right? Now as a result, the system could carry 3 times as many people than we currently do with the trains. Now the real benefit is the capacity, says Christian Croup, NBBJ, design director. Now, that's the realistic part of the idea, right? Using proven technology, moving sidewalks, travelators, in a proven way, a highway lane system to fix vexing problems. So going to the downsides, first off, it's unclear how much the system would cost to build or operate, or how much energy it would use. Interesting questions. Well, that's because it's still in the early concept phase, Croup says, and the team hasn't bothered doing the math yet because I'm guessing no one's too interested in the idea. I do think it's an interesting idea, right? So the bigger problem is any system based on moving sidewalks isn't friendly to people who don't walk well or at all. So one rendering shows a person in a wheelchair. Other renderings include Daniel Craig, Queen Elizabeth II, and the Elvis apparently in the picture. I've not seen them ones. Can't find them. Maybe the Queen wasn't amused and she said get rid of it. I don't know. And you know, chairs that set up in the fast lanes, as we've said, but it's really easy, like super easy, to imagine people having trouble moving between lanes or stumbling as they get on and off. It is, I can imagine that. Could you utilize some sort of handrail? Maybe. Well, for anyone who's been to an airport knows that, you know, things break down. It's a nuisance when you're changing flights and could make getting from Notting Hill to the Tower of London a bit of a disaster. Now still, Croup says that the idea is a real potential and that it's been well received so far. I believe it's a great idea. Now it likely won't see the artificial light of an underground tunnel at the moment, but the concept is worth something in its own right. Usually an idea just leads to another idea. Croup says, maybe the next one will fix London's congestion problems. What do you guys think about this technology and the situation? I think this is actually a great idea, worth looking into a bit more. Obviously, it's going to be a bit hard if you've got trains from different lines utilizing the same circle line, which you probably do. Then how are those trains going to go from one line to the next while there's a freaking travelator in the tunnel? The future is quite literally limitless. All right, we can look back thousands of years into history, but what we can't do is see into thousands of years of what could come. Right? Something like this most likely will happen someday. Who knows when? But yeah, interesting idea nonetheless. Well, let me know what you guys think down in the description below. All right, 2 and 1. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Tallboy Gareth. I've been tall. My name's Gareth, and I will see you, beautiful ladies and gentlemen, in tomorrow's video. See ya.